Hi everybody, welcome back on another technical tip around the practical Ansible tool. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to use Ansible in the enterprise environment. This is the third section of my book, Practical Ansible Tool. So once again, I'm going to remind you the goal of this book. Give you some better way how to move from operation engineer or team member to DevOps engineer with a practical Ansible guideline. So let's get started. So section 3, how to use Ansible in an enterprise section. So in this section, you will take a practical based on look at how to get the utmost out of Ansible in an enterprise environment. So you will start by looking at how to automate your network devices with Ansible, before moving on to the use of Ansible to manage both cloud and container environments such as Kubernetes. And you will then look at some of the more advanced testing and troubleshooting strategy will assist you in your use of Ansible in an enterprise environment. So finally, looking at the Ansible Tower, aka AWS project, which provides a rich RBAC functionality and auditing capability in enterprise setting. So let's take a look at the little bit detail. So there are more than 65 network platform to use Ansible network automation, and also more than 1,000 Ansible existing modules. So you can use that to address your network devices from router and firewall and so many network devices. So why we need to automate our networks? Because the so network is one of the critical infrastructure on your enterprise environment, and also you need to consider how to change maintain your network devices based on DevOps pipeline or DevOps initiative, which means you need to plan first and then develop a practice, and also it's a goal is beyond just ping test, because you need to upgrade a firmware, or you need to configure new IP address or a router or gateway, which means if you made a single mistake, you ruin the entire network topology. So you definitely need to plan a development with some practice, and then deploy the actual network device, and then you need to keep maintaining, upgrading, just like a daily operation as part of the DevOps concept. So I'm going to give some a couple of example, a variety of the network vendors. For this one, for example, is Cisco network devices. So we're going to use a network CLI, and the Cisco already provide Ansible module. So in this use case, I'm going to show you the IP address using CLI command line module, and then just display that thing. When you run this Ansible playbook, you can see here IP address and more details. And also, you can use some different vendors API, like a command line network CLI. So in this case, Juniper, another famous network vendor, and but different CLI command line show interface towards EMI, and you can have a similar result just like you got from Cisco network devices, IP address and INET6 and TMP, etc. All right, move on. Next module. So window automation. So there are more than 90 window module and more than 1,300 PowerShell DSC resources. So what can I do using Ansible for Windows? So first of all, native Windows support use PowerShell remoting to manage the window in the same Ansible agent way, because in the Linux operation, Ansible by default uses the Python, but Windows instead basically uses PowerShell to remote the manage your Windows execution, your task. So there are a lot of tasks or job you can do that with the Ansible for Windows Server. For example, install and uninstall MSI file and gathering fact on Windows host, enable, disable window feature, and start, stop, and managing Windows services like Apache Web Server or database, etc. And you can also create and manage local users group or integrate user LDAP or Active Directory server, and also you can patch file from remote site and push execute any PowerShell script, etc. So one of the easiest way to find Ansible module for window automation, typically starting with the window underscore as the prefix. So for example, Windows underscore copy underscore service underscore domain, etc. So this is the maybe easier way to find a window module in Ansible. So a couple of example, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So starting web server, IIS web server, and then I'm going to make sure this web server is running, and also the disable and start fire service to make sure the web server is start and accessible by external user. So in this example, we're going to use window underscore service module, and then the name is W3 services, is which means the II web server it stays running, and then firewall MPS service name is stop, and then we gotta disable. And another the example here, and created local admin already exists or not, and in this case we're gonna use the window underscore user module, and then the name is local admin, and the password whatever you need, like you can parameterize your parameter. And one thing you need to make sure this local admin should be part of the administrator group. But in reality, we don't use the local admin credential, so it's a very rare case. So we normally in enterprise environment we try to use AD server with integration. So here is some example how to create a new AD user account. So we use, in this case, we're going to use a window underscore domain underscore user module to create a new username with some required fields such as first name, surname, password, group, etc. And there are a lot of the Windows modules such as upgrade operating system as well, and reboot after upgrade your operating system if you need. So just using window update, window reboot, a module allows you to update operating system as well as reboot your operating system as well. So another the powerful Ansible module is cloud module, so automate your cloud infrastructure. So there are more than 800 cloud module, and it can be automated your more than 30 cloud platform like Azure, Microsoft, and Google, Amazon, the OpenStack, Kubernetes. A lot of cloud modules already provide. So a couple of examples. First of all, the Amazon the modules. So in this case, we just create Amazon VPC. So using EC2 underscore VPC underscore net module allows you to create a new VPC with some CIDR IP address, and you can add some tag to maintain the specific VPC. And also you can create a virtual network in the Microsoft Azure Cloud using Azure underscore RM underscore RM means resource manager, and underscore virtual network. So this is a really simple way, and also you can integrate multiple. You could actually write down multiple playbook to manage multiple cloud at the same time, just like for hybrid cloud strategy on your company. So OpenStack is one of the popular IaaS project, open source project to build your on-prem IaaS cloud. And so you can create your own instance like Amazon EC2 based on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.4 based image. So last, the practice part of the Ansible module is a security. So there are more than 800 security modules and running on more than 11 security platforms. So one thing you should know, the security is not a big roadblock to build your own DevOps initiative, because the security is always can be enable some specific tool, like creating new access rule or integrate some specific vendors security platform or a particular tool, and then you can automate that security job using Ansible, or you can build a new pipeline like a CI/CD pipeline. Okay, the functional test is done, and whatever the next? Okay, integration test, and then all functional, non-functional tests is done, including performance test. Maybe last step could be security test just for promoting production environment. And then you can put in the Ansible playbook in the security phase, testing phase, based on this security module. So you can create access rule like a checkpoint, or you can integrate the other vendors to like IBM QRadar to get info, the QRadar rule, and also you can put in append the new Snore, one of the popular open source the IDP tool, Snore, put in the add new Snore the password attack rule based on security module Ansible provides. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the couple of the practice how to use Ansible module to build up your own DevOps infrastructure, network and security and cloud and more and more. And if you need to more benefit with Ansible, like an enterprise environment, like a GUI dashboard or IVAC feature, here's Ansible Tower. So Ansible Tower rather provide the subscription, as well as you can use the Ansible open source project, the name the AWS. So Ansible Tower provide a couple of benefits, such as just provide a pushy button, which means that you already pre-define job template, and then just pushy the button, and then the provision and spin up all the environment, like install the Kubernetes and deploy the specific application as a pod, and deploy some database, etc. And provide a RESTful API to create your own integration third-party tools such as ServiceNow, etc. And you can define an IBAC functionality, give some specific, grant specific permission in your team, in your org, like a read-only or a read-write, etc. And there are a lot of the fancy dashboard. You can find that the streaming log file, and also the metric and topology, etc. And you can also define workflow as well. Okay, I think this is the third series of the technical tip around Ansible, specifically how to use your enterprise environment with some practice with the Ansible module. So I just want to keep in mind to become the reviewer of my book. Just go to this website, the authors packprod.com, and the review form. So once you subscribe my YouTube channel and add a comment, I just subscribe and give some your email address, and I'm gonna give you the 10-digit code and the referral code when you create the account in a review form, and then you got a free ebook download. So if you still interested about read this book and try to find a new chance to become a reviewer under this book, just subscribe and let me know your email address. Okay, thanks for watching, and keep you safe and have a rest of a good day. Thank you.